Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Cryotic film video. This is a special video consisting of tier maker of the specialist classes in Battlefront 2 and my Starcards that I use. So first we're gonna go into the game and I'll show you my Starcards that I use for the Enforcer, Aerial and Infiltrator classes. So for the Enforcer I use Survivalist, more health regen because they have a lot of large health pool. Enforcer Training, lots of health on elimination, and Battle Hardened, so more HP overall, more HP on kill, and more HP regenerated. Instead of Survivalist, you could use the Acquisition. It marks a target when you're targeted yourself, when you're shot. So instead of this, you could use this, but I like to use this because I want to be in the combat as much as possible. So next, the aerial troops. They're the same cards. So I have health on elimination. I have acquisition because I'm always on the move with this class and I like to see who is shooting at me. Battle hardened for more HP. Survivalist, I used to use this, but it's not that useful because you can run away quickly with your jet pack. And more evade or evade pack. This is useful as well, but I don't think it's useful as the extra health. And finally the Infiltrator. Infiltrator, I use another evasion because that's important for that class. Acquisition, I need to know who is shooting me because I'm always in the back of the enemy lines. Stalker, if you scan the enemy and you kill them, you get health. If I tried to use interrogation, but it doesn't seem that useful because it's only melee strikes and the best melee striker is only the droid. And recharge time, if you get shot you get recharge quickly. That might be useful, but again, more evade, knowing who's shooting you, and extra HP is what's important. So now let's start with the tier list. I arranged the tier list here. So these are the enforcers, these are the aerial troops, and these are the infiltrators. So let's start one by one with the best enforcer, in my opinion. So the best enforcer out of all of these is the Death Trooper. The Death Troopers, let me go into the game now and find them. The Death Troopers have Sonic Imploder, Overload and Fortify. So the Sonic Imploder is a blinding grenade that marks the enemies for you. Overload, it prevents heal build up and you shoot faster. It's amazing, and you can dodge and move quickly with it. Fortify gives you extra HP. So very solid class. The weapon is great. That's why it is in S tier. The second S tier, and I think the second only S tier from the enforcers, is the Droideka. Let me find the Droideka here. So they have a wheel form. When you sprint, you actually clump up in the ball, and you take a less damage. It doesn't say so here, but you take less damage. Overload, again, faster fire rate and health build up. It shoots faster, and a very important energy shield. So when you activate this, only ion weapons do lots of damage, normal weapons don't do too much damage, and melee strikes of course go through the shield. But the use of Droidekas, that's why they are S tier. They go behind enemy lines with the objectives or capture points, and you sneak them up. They are more like Infiltrator with their playstyle instead of Enforcer, but they're also tanky, so that's why they're S tier. So, what else? Who is A tier out of the Enforcers? I might say A tier, it might be the Clone Commando. So let's find them. Yeah, Clone Commando. Repulsor Blast, you can just push away enemies, not that important, but you can save your life if you're been pushed by too many enemies at once or a hero. This is also great. Nearby allies, and you deal you take less damage, and if you deal damage you replenish your health. This makes you almost invulnerable. Anti-armor attachment also quite great, especially in tight corridors like on the capital ships. You use this and you destroy shields, you destroy vehicles, emplacements, and you can kill multiple enemies. It's a little bit slow, so you need to be tactical with it, but it's awesome if used correctly. Then, who else? All of these, for example, I think the Flame Trooper is C tier. It's very situational, it can be useful. So with the Incendiary Imploder, you can deny the enemy some area. Overload, you do more damage, and Fortify, again, the same abilities as the Death Trooper, but the Flame Trooper has less range. But you can kill heroes that are not careful quite easily with this class. But I don't tend to use it, that's why I place it in C. It might be better, I don't know. Now, it's either B or A tier for the Super Battle Droid. So it's very similar to the Death Trooper, but the weapon is a little bit worse, and you cannot sprint while you use the overcharge. So let's place it on B tier. Let's see, the Super Battle Droid is here. Oh, it has a wrist rocket as well, instead of that sonic grenade. So wrist rocket is useful, but it's not as useful on the as it is on the aerial troops, because you're on the ground and you cannot get those good line of sights. Overload, as I said, prevents health build-up and more fire rate. Fortified gives you extra HP, and the overload here is a little bit worse than the Death Trooper because you cannot sprint while using it. So that's why I think it's B tier. Maybe it's A, I don't know. Wookiees I do not use, they are pretty powerful. Wookiee warriors. So the Turbo Imploder does a lot of damage. Overload again makes the crossbow do a lot of damage. Slam can disrupt enemy heroes or enemy parties, but they're big hulking target and I do not really like them. That's why I C tier. This is my personal tier maker. So of course your tiers may be different for you. And I do like the gunners, Ovisian gunners. They anti-armor mode I don't use too often because it's very slow, but the normal rotary cannon is amazing. Defensive stance makes you really invulnerable because you replenish health for you and your allies, and charge is great. You can push down enemies or rush down an enemy specialist class which tries to get away from you. So I think it's a very balanced class. So now we go to the aerials. Let's go to the aerials. So first aerial unit, these two are mostly the same. I think the difference is one is resistance, one is rebel. Not sure which is which. Okay, so the rebel one is the Asian lady. So Asian lady is the rebel one. I like her a lot. Maybe it's S tier because she has a good kit. She has a jetpack, of course, and dash jetpack. So you jump and you dash. So for the longer distances, you do the boost to go up in the air. You rocket launch the enemies. But the weapon on this lady is very good, on the rocket jumper. So I'm not sure about the weapon of the resistance rocket jumper. Because of that, I'm gonna place her at A. And she's kinda worse because she faces off with the best jet trooper, which we will cover later, the first order jet trooper. So otherwise she's the same. Let's check out if the weapon is the same. It doesn't look the same, right? Alright, so one is the AA something something, and this one is, I have no idea what the name is, but they're different. So I'm thinking it could be worse, from what I remember. Alright, so the next, these two are not that great, but they're still aerial troops, so I'm gonna place them on a B. They have of course, the same abilities, but they are clunky. For example, the BP droids and the jet troopers from the Republic. The pistol is not that great from distance, from up close is very good. Maybe the droid is a little bit worse than the jet trooper, but not by much. And now we're left with the Republic. I mean the Empire aerial troop. The Empire aerial troop is this one. Has the same abilities, of course, but the weapon is slightly better than these ones, but I don't think it's good enough for A. And of course, the best aerial troop is the first order one. He has different abilities, so he has jetpack that you can use as you want, and you can hover with it when you aim in the air. So you have fuel and you spend your fuel however you like. It's very fast in the air. You can also do a jet tackle, which kills normal enemies in one hit, So you fly horizontally along the ground, and if you hit somebody, you punch them and they usually die. And the 3-barrel launcher is also quite good. Instead of the rocket, he has it as his optional fire mode. So he fires the weapon. The weapon is not that great, but the launcher with the weapon and with the maneuverability is great. The only balancing thing that they did on him is that he costs more. He costs 2,000 to get, 2,000 battle points, so half hero to get. So that's why I think he's mostly balanced. Otherwise, he will be above S tier. So now we go to the infiltrators. Infiltrators, the best infiltrator according to me are these two. So the droid. Let's find the droid. Where's the commander droid? Is amazing. Smoke screen, not that useful, but it can make it difficult for the enemies to find you. Together with thermal vision, you can see them through the smoke and they cannot see you. Very powerful. Vibrosword, extremely powerful if you especially use the dodge and attack ability, so you can move even faster than heroes with this. Also does a lot of damage, also knocks down on the third strike. Amazing. The weapon is also quite good, quite precise. It's not overpowered, but it's amazing. Overall, quite a great troop with the abilities. Amazing. S tier. Other S tier is of course the Sith Trooper. I saw him here. The Sith Trooper, he has a grenade that prevents healing. He has wall hacks, so it starts 4, and when you defeat enemies, you increase that number. So I think it's up to 12. Don't take my word for it, but I think it's up to 12 enemies you see through walls. You see their mark, which is enough to see them. You see what class they are and everything. And combat rush is also amazing. If you defeat enemy, you start health regeneration quickly and you extend the duration and you sprint faster. Well, amazing. He has a great weapon, a great secondary fire on the weapon. He looks cool. This is one of the best specialist classes. The only problem, of course, it looks different than the other first order stormtroopers, so you're a big target. Then, out of these 4, I'm not sure which one is A tier. Probably none of them. So all of them are quite okay, except the Ewok. Let's place the Ewok, maybe D? No. Let's place him C and let's see him. So Ewok Hunter is potentially very good, but his bow is not that great. So Wistai's pouch. So this is a grenade, and you can chase away the enemies, disrupt them, and make them run away. So quite good for area of control. Hunter Instincts, you see through walls, and you see weakened enemies. That's good, but you cannot kill as many of them as the Ewok. For example, if any of the other infiltrator classes had this, for example, it would be OP. But on the Ewok, it's not that great. And the Trauma Horn, you have damage resistance and improved attacks, but it's very slow to trigger. There's some glitch to make it trigger quicker, but I'm not aware of it. And if you stay crouched, your abilities charge faster. But the problem with the Ewoks are the good thing with the Ewoks, they are small and you are not a big target or big priority. But the problem with them is your bow. If you want to kill enemies in one shot, you need to charge the bow for like 3 seconds. If not, the auto aim on the bow is a little bit finicky, so you I love those horns in the background. So yeah, it's a little bit finicky, and that's why it's on D tier. And then let me check for myself the ISB agent. Where is it? The ISB agent. Okay, so she has wall hack. She has okay, so this helps the allies, not you. Okay, the allies and you. So it starts regeneration. That's good. And assault training, sprint speed, and damage reduction. So this is actually quite good with close combat, replenishing with your melee strikes ability. So it's quite good, but I haven't used her as much. That's why I'm not aware of her. But according to abilities and her weapon and her secondary strike, I think she deserves to be an A. Similar to the Arc Trooper, so he has wall hack, but it doesn't last too long. Shock Trap is amazing for zoning out enemies and even facing down heroes. It knocks them down. And faster fire rate is quite good also. So the Arc Trooper might be A. And in the end, Carpet Spy, this is great. This class is great if you're outside. If you're outside, is A tier. If it's not outside, is B tier. But since most of the maps are outside, let's place him A tier. So you can call in Airstrike, otherwise it's Scanner. Rapid Fire, he moves slowly, so that's why it's not that good. If he moved faster and he had Rapid Fire, that's awesome. But otherwise, this is like the Han Solo ability. So you fire faster, but you move slow. And Trojan strikes are similar to the droid weapon, but it's less powerful in my opinion. You have less range and you cannot use them for movement as far as I know. So basically that's it. So we have lots of S tier. The specialist classes are great. The C tier, some of you might disagree, but it's okay for me. The droids, so the best droid is the Infiltrator one. The other droids not so great. The droid deck also. So which class? Let's see. This is Empire, this is Rebellion, this is First Order, this is CIS, and this is First Order. So First Order has 2 S tiers. Empire and Resistance have 1. Then this is Republic Commando, right? So Republican era. This is Empire. Arc Troopers are Rebel. No, they are Republic. It doesn't matter. So it's quite balanced actually. I like the specialist classes. They're quite useful. Sometimes the S tier and the A tier can be more useful than a hero. Depends on the situation. Because on some maps, if you use a hero, you are just a big target and you're marked on the map, so you might be more effective with a special class. Anyways, thank you so much for dropping by and watching my video. I hope it helps, and tell me what you think about my tier list. Of course, it will be different for you, because as I said, this is my personal tier list, is my opinion, and it's very affected by what I play most. The classes I play more, I like more. The classes I play less, like the Fire Trooper, Plane Trooper, I placed lower, but I do think that it's not as effective as the other ones. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.